Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about something that I get a lot of questions and messages on, and that is what shift work is like as a midwife. So if this is something you're interested in, just keep watching. So shift work kind of comes part and parcel with working as a midwife, especially in the hospital system. So what I'll be talking about is my personal experience. So I've been at 3 different hospitals working shift work, and they've all been very similar. So hopefully the information I will be giving you is very similar to the hospitals you'll be going to. So generally as a midwife, you'll be working on a rotating roster, and what this means is that you'll get a mixture of morning, afternoons and night shifts. So at my hospital, morning shifts are 7 till 3:30, afternoon shifts are 1:30 till 10 p.m. and night shifts are 9:30 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. in the morning. So my rosters come out monthly and do generally contain a mixture of these shifts. So how it worked at my previous hospital was that everyone had to do 4 night shifts per rotating roster, and that is how it worked in kind of the award. How it works at the hospital I am at now though is because they do have a lot of midwives who request to do night shifts. I generally end up doing 1 to 2 if that. I personally love night shifts, but I'm also happy to only have a few every roster. So I'm a full-time employee, which generally means I work 40 hours a week, but there are a lot of other variations of part-time. So I generally work 5 days a week, sometimes less, depending on if I get any night shifts. And every month I get 1 allocated day off that I'm paid for. So altogether I end up working about 19 shifts a month. Now, as part of New South Wales Health, I get 6 weeks holidays, but what I have also been able to nominate to do is that when I work a public holiday, instead of getting the extra money, I get an extra day off. Because I'm cheap at the moment, I get put on a lot of public holidays, so it's looking like I'm going to have about 7 weeks holidays this year, which I think is fantastic because the general population normally only gets about 4. So each roster as well, I get 4 requested days off. So essentially what this means is that I can pencil in 4 days that I will definitely be guaranteed off. What some people also choose to do is map out their whole roster, showing when they want afternoons, mornings and nights, but obviously if everyone did this it wouldn't work, so I tend not to do it because I know I don't have kids or too many responsibilities, so I'm very flexible with what I can work, but other people love to put in exactly what they want. Sometimes what I will do though is, say if I have something on the morning, I request an afternoon shift. This way I don't have to take a whole day off. So I definitely have some tips for working shift work, and the first would be have your roster in front of you all the time and be super organized with it. So I use this app called Shift Worker, which I will link below. I think I paid $2.50 or so for it, but it's definitely worth the money for me, and I'm pretty sure there's a free version. So as you can see, you can design your own little icons within it. So mornings I have suns, afternoons I have stars, and nights I have moons. It's very easy to put your shifts in. So as you can see, this is my roster for the month of May. Quite a lot of mornings and only a few nights and afternoons. What I also love about this app is that it allows you to send it to people, and when they send it, it tells you what times the morning shifts are from, the afternoon shifts and night shifts. So I find this so important when scheduling with my family and my friends. Just to be able to send it off is great. I also love the visual representation that it gives. My friends enjoy it as well, but I know other people just use their notes or Google Calendar. I just find this a lot quicker. I'm not paid by them in any way, it's just what I use. What I also want to say about shift work is that it's really important to form a great relationship with your unit manager, who is generally the person that does your roster. A lot of the roster is negotiable, and a manager, if they're good, will take on a lot of your needs. They understand if you have kids or other commitments. So forming a good relationship with them is important. I will do overtime, I will take extra shifts, I'll happily swap shifts. I'm very flexible, so that I hope in that case that when it comes to time that I might desperately need a day off, for example getting my graduation day off, it's not too hard to switch around. Some people have certain agreements with the manager, so if they work 2 shifts, sometimes they can get exactly the same shifts every week so they can fit it into their schedule. Yeah, it's all depending on your particular manager and hospital, how long you've been working there, that sort of thing. But what I want to say is a lot of people might get scared hearing those 4 night shifts, but it can be negotiated. Another tip I would give is make sure you plan around your roster. What I used to do is just, you know, dedicate my whole life to my work and my roster, and I would come home from work and just sit on the couch, relax all night, or if I had an afternoon shift, I'd sleep in all morning. Then I found myself being really unproductive and really unsatisfied in other aspects of my life. So I really also schedule in, for example, if I have a morning shift, I'll exercise in the afternoon or try and catch up with friends. If I have an afternoon shift, I make sure I'm up by 8 or 9 o'clock. Obviously, I do listen to my body. When I do need to sleep in, I'll take it, but I try not to let my day waste away. Otherwise, I just wake up, go to work, and if I come home at 10, I feel like I've done nothing with my day. Another thing, I would make sure that you let your friends to let you know about social events well in advance. Let them know that you have to put in your request in a roster. All my family is aware and will be like, oh, in a month or 2 months time, can you take off this day? So this makes it a lot less stressful. I don't have a lot of events come up in my life that are like the week ahead and I need to take off. What I would also recommend is just to surrender to the craziness and try and take a positive attitude towards shift work. A lot of people can complain about shift work and I think it really brings down their job and the mood. For example, you might have just seen in my previous roster, I have a lot of mornings. Now in my work, mornings are crazy and definitely a lot harder. But I think, wow, well, if I have mornings, I can get into a little bit of a routine. I have my afternoons freed up. You know, I can relax, I can schedule easier, and maybe even see friends easier. I really just try and surrender to what's given to me. I am also part of the union though, so sometimes if there are unfair conditions are given to me, like 9 or 10 shifts in a row without a break, or shorter shifts that don't really work, I'm able to call the union and see what my rights are. So I definitely recommend joining your local union, just to have that extra protection and voice for you. But ultimately what I want to say is that shift work can be great. I absolutely love shift work. I love not working a 9 to 5. I think I would get so bored with that predictability. I love having my shifts bouncing around everywhere, and I love that every day is completely different. I think there are so many benefits to shift work. I know a lot of mums just do night shifts so they can work it around their family. Yeah, a lot of people can make it work for them. So I don't think that shift work always has to be this massive negative thing about being a midwife. There are also a lot of different models of care you can work in where you're on call, or say if you just work in the antenatal clinic, that's a more 9 to 5 or like 7 to 3:30 job. So there are options out there if you need to work that sort of 9 to 5 in midwifery. What I want to say is it is a super flexible career with heaps of options out there. Now I know I don't have kids, so it is a lot easier for me to manage my shift work, but like I said, there are so many options. There's part-time, there's having set days a week, you know, there's different areas that you work. But anyway, I hope this video was informative and that you took something from it. If you have any questions or messages, you can send them to my Instagram. I'll definitely reply. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.